Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2559 Clearing the Field 1. The winds of Australia still howl, and the shattered earth at the edge of the grasslands continues to sink gently. The distant sea surface was tinged with leaden gray, as if the heavens and earth were also suffocating under the weight of the pressure. After the appearance of the two supreme dragon beings, who forcefully suppressed the entire situation, many ancient races withdrew their sharpness. Those who had originally planned to share the spoils on the spot dared not speak up again. The meeting temporarily stabilized. But Zhang Yi knew that the real story wasn't over yet. He stood on the half-withered grass, gazing at the black dragon Yuan Jing and the white dragon Zi Yuan Mo. Seeing these two up close is a completely different experience from seeing them from a distance. Even though they deliberately suppressed their presence, they still possessed an undeniable aura, like two nails pressing down on the very structure of the world. Zhang Yi rarely admits to feeling oppressed in front of others, but this time, he really felt it. Bai Longzi's ability to control Meng Qi just now wasn't even a display of martial prowess, it was just a casual action. That fundamental way of defining reality made him clearly realize that there was still a chasm between him and them. However, this did not make him feel inferior. He was just calmer. Hailonji Wenjing spoke first. His voice wasn't like Bai Longzi's cold, pale lines, but rather a deep, resonant one, deep in his chest, with a metallic echo, like an ancient bell striking bones. Chaos, little Zhang. Zhang Yi looked up. I'm listening. He Longyuan stared at him intently, saying each word slowly and deliberately. Don't think you can relax just because we're here. Zhang Yi chuckled at his words. Do I look like someone who can relax? Black Dragon didn't laugh. His presence suggests that laughter is a rare emotion for him. Now that you have established yourself here, He Longyuan said quietly, the Huashu kingdom is no longer a sheep to be slaughtered. Many tribes will back down and will not touch you. But he paused slightly at this point, then added, there will also be some trouble. They'll start keeping an eye on you. Zhang Yi nodded knowingly. I know that the Dragon Clan cannot protect us in every detail. Ultimately, we must rely on the people of Huashu Kingdom for our own safety. We will not cause the Dragon Clan too much trouble. Your help today is already the greatest favor you can do for us. Zhang Yi's sweet words never seemed to come cheap. As the saying goes, flattery will get you everywhere. Yuan Jing continued, it's not just the races you've offended today that might become your enemies in the future. Moreover, by choosing to side with the Dragon Clan, you've established a stance. Therefore, the Dragon Clan's enemies will also implicate you. An enemy of the dragons? Zhang Yi's eyes widened slightly. Even the mighty Dragon Clan had beings that could be called enemies? He Longyuan said, they are our old enemies. He glanced at the representatives of the higher races who had left the venue but were still observing from afar. He continued, don't think of the dragon race as saviors. We once wanted to dominate an entire era. To put it bluntly, we wanted to suppress all other races. There will never be a shortage of adversaries in this world. We have fought our way up, and the bones we have trampled, the cities we have burned, and the civilizations we have destroyed are no cleaner than any conqueror. Zhang Yi listened intently and attentively. He wasn't surprised. He had guessed before that the dragon race, which was almost deified in history books, could not possibly be positioned as noble guardians. The reason you've survived to this day is never because of kindness, but because of your strength. Heilong Yuanjing continued. Back then, we broke ties with many races. Some races were wiped out, some survived, and some were forced into deep space, hiding in folded dimensions. You know the current situation. The Earth's fold space is opened, and those ancient forces hidden in the interlayers are emerging one by one. Among them are not only those we would call allies, but also our former mortal enemies. Will they come after us? Yes. The Black Dragon Abyss is a quiet place. But we are not bodyguards standing by the side of the Huashu Kingdom at their beck and call. The rules of this era allow us to intervene to a limited extent. If we bang the table on everything, those old enemies won't dare to confront us directly. Instead, they'll take a roundabout approach and target your Huashu Kingdom. They'll target 6 generations of people. Because this way, they can annoy us without having to confront us directly. Zhang Yi understood. It's a proxy war, right? Advanced civilizations can't fight each other directly because they're wary of one another. So they use the civilization wars below to test each other's strength. In other words, he said, our Huashu Kingdom is likely to be used as an experimental zone, or rather as a bargaining chip to settle old scores? He Longyuan nodded. That's one possibility. There's another kind, he said, his gaze growing even more somber. They're not fighting for face, they're fighting for opportunity. An opportunity? Zhang Yi asked. We will discuss this matter in detail later. Bai Longzi responded in silence, his tone calm yet sharp, as if he were dissecting something with a knife. Take this to heart for now. As long as you're still considered part of the Dragon Clan's protected camp, you've already stepped into the crossroads of those gazes. You won't just be fighting against the opponents of the 6th generation of humans. You'll be forced to come into contact with the lingering hatred of the previous era, or even the era before that. Those beings are no less powerful than us. He put it very directly. Zhang Yi clicked his tongue and let out a soft sigh. That sounds really troublesome. Bai Longzi glanced at him sideways, his eyes carrying a hint of cold indifference that seemed to see right through people. Scared? Zhang Yi laughed and said, Of course I'm afraid. After all, I'm not as exaggerated as you guys, able to lift someone up to me with a single gesture, like carrying a small animal. But as I am afraid, I don't have a choice. His tone remained calm, suppressing complex emotions, as if stating a fact. If no one is there to support me, then I have to, he said. Otherwise, the people I cherish will truly be left unprotected. His longtime comrades in arms, his family, everything he built, and his subordinates whom he protected in Tianhai City. These people became his spiritual anchor after the end of the world, and he could not allow anyone to destroy them. These words silenced the Black Dragon for a moment. The cold, golden light in his vertical pupils softened slightly, as if in acknowledgement. All right, Black Dragon said. I'll remember your attitude. Zhang Yi smiled and shrugged. He changed the subject, saying, I have a question for you too, and I hope you can give me an answer. Ask away, Bai Longzi said calmly. Zhang Yi looked at them, his voice softening. Why are all the races watching the 6th generation of humans? His voice was filled with doubt and confusion. To be honest, Earth's space folding has already unfolded, and its actual surface area is dozens, even hundreds of times larger than what we previously knew about Earth. There is enough habitable space, and resources are not entirely conflicting. Logically speaking, they didn't have to kill us. But as you saw, they really wanted to take action, even to clear the area. Chapter 2560, Clearing the Field 2. Zhang Yi didn't beat around the bush. In the face of advanced civilizations, honesty is the best way to communicate. The races he was referring to that harbored strong hostility towards the 6 generations were the Fawnwolf clan, the Ironclad clan, the Titan clan, and even those condescending races he had just mentioned. They weren't discussing coexistence at all. They came with the attitude of slaughtering and then dividing. This is a question that all 6 generations of human representatives wanted to ask, but no one dared to ask it so directly. Black Dragon Yuan Jing and White Dragon Ziyuan Mo exchanged a glance. The silence was brief, but you could sense they were weighing what to say now and what chain reaction those words would trigger. Finally, the Black Dragon spoke. This story begins with the epoch. His gaze darkened, as if he were recalling something he no longer wanted to remember. Each generation of humankind represents a key chapter in the history of civilization. The first generation, the second generation, up to you, the 6th generation. You like to call yourselves 6th generation of humans, which is true. But in even earlier records, We would also call you the sixth main order civilization. Main sequence civilization? Zhang Yi repeated. It means the protagonist of this era, Bai Longzi said calmly, is a race that is implicitly considered to grow into the world's dominant force during this cycle. As he said this, he glanced at Zhang Yi, as if to make sure he could keep up. Under normal circumstances, the end of an era is often not to destroy the main order civilization, but to destroy the out-of-control Drucker. Zhang Yi was startled and couldn't help but silently recite, Drucker. This name, like Voldemort, sends shivers down one's spine just by being spoken. Zhang Yi had the mark left by the Druckers on his body. Although it was invisible to the naked eye, Zhang Yi could clearly feel that they had locked onto him. Mammon, Samuel, regarded him as a leak that could grow strong. They're just waiting for them to break free of the seal before they come to reap Zhang Yi. Black Dragon didn't mince words and directly revealed the most crucial part. The Drucker family is a terrible product created by the creator when he did not restrain his power during the creation of life. When Heilong said this, he wasn't exaggerating. Instead, it was a cold, straightforward statement. Drucker's rate of evolution far exceeded the creator's original intention. The creator kept adding restrictions, patches, and shackles to them, pushing them into a controllable range. However, the result was that all the subsequent patches that the creator applied had no effect. Zhang Yi remained silent. Bai Longzi continued, whenever Drucker expands to a certain extent, the era must be overthrown and restarted. The so-called Doomsday, the so-called surface cleansing, and the so-called civilization reset are not for the purpose of slaughtering your so-called main order civilization. That's all to break the knife. In order to punish Drucker. He paused, then said coldly, to put it simply, the apocalypse is for the Druckers, not for you. Zhang Yi pursed his lips, subconsciously recalling the moment the apocalypse began. Extreme cold descended, life became extinct, disasters poured down like a torrent, countless lives perished, and the entire planet was like being pushed into a meat grind. It turns out that it wasn't a system reboot, it was a warning of extinction. But we've only been around for a short time, he said softly. The sixth generation hasn't even truly completed the upgrade of their civilization system. Their technological level has just reached a critical point. Their extraordinary systems have only just become widespread, and they haven't even achieved a unified global government before the apocalypse struck. Why the rush? According to your logic, the creator should give us some time to grow, until we are qualified to stand at the table before facing Drucker. Bai Longzi lowered his gaze slightly, as if he were pushing a certain answer outward. In an extremely calm voice, he offered a guess that would not put anyone at ease. Because this time, the Drucker people are growing too fast. It's almost here. Even if we follow the original plan and procedures, by the time the apocalypse arrives in an orderly fashion, it may be too late. They will reach a level that even the creator cannot suppress ahead of schedule. Therefore, the end of the world has come early. Zhang Yi felt a slight chill on his back. He finally realized how terrible the problem was. The apocalypse is not because 6 generations of humanity made mistakes, but because Drucker was beyond the control of the creator. Wait a minute. He raised his hand. You mean this apocalypse is a premature interruption of the process? Longyuan nodded. That's one way to understand it. This group of 6th-generation humans hasn't even grown up yet, and the apocalypse has been prematurely postponed.
Why?
It's not to kill you, but to quickly reset the battlefield and bring back all the high-level combat forces that were still alive in the previous era, the era before that, and the era before that, so that they can directly fight against Drucker. In other words, the 6th generations should have been the protagonists of this era, with time to grow, expand, unify, control resources, and finally face the final enemy. But this time there's no such procedure. Bai Longzi said, the creator directly pressed the button to bring back the veterans, awakening all of us who are the remnants of the previous and the one before that era, and allowing us to stand directly on the stage of your era. There is only one objective, to stop the Drucker Resurrection War from destroying the world. As for you 6th-generation people who haven't even had time to mature yet, sorry, you don't have any buffer time. Heaven and earth are ruthless. treating all things like straw dogs. The creator does not care about the life or death of any generation. In the eyes of higher beings, their existence is unimportant. Zhami slowly exhaled. That explains why you're all here. This also explains why so many ancient races suddenly emerged from the folded space, expanding Earth dozens of times larger, like opening a gift box. But that doesn't explain why these ancient races wanted to wipe us out right from the start. If the reason for the apocalypse is Drucker, then logically we should actually be on the same side. Why did they attack us first? Black Dragon did not answer immediately, but instead raised his chin slightly and looked at the representatives of the powerful clans at the edge of the arena. These races have keen hearing and are clearly eavesdropping on their conversation. But under the Black Dragon's gaze, they all seemed to be nailed down, and no one stepped forward to interrupt. Heilong Yuanjing slowly withdrew his gaze and spoke. Why did they kill you? Because of resources, and because of the need to seize prime geographical locations. Also, because they want to seize a valuable opportunity. Here we end today's chapter. I hope you liked it. Kindly do also subscribe to my gaming channel. I have to Fina a way to survive. Thanks.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises.